Hello, I'm Suzanne, and I'm delighted to be introducing the Reframing Adoption conference series for ExChange Wales. ExChange Wales is based in CASCADE, the Children's Social Care Research and Development Centre at Cardiff University. CASCADE's aim is to improve the well-being, safety and rights of children and their families through research which informs policy and practice. CASCADE is concerned with all aspects of community responses to social need in children and families, including family support services, child protection, looked after children and adoption. The ExChange Wales programme disseminates research and best practice in children and family social care. It brings together researchers, practitioners and service users to share expertise, research evidence and care experiences. The programme delivers resources, training and events, both online and in person, and is funded by the Welsh Government through Health and Care Research Wales. So to introduce myself properly, I'm Suzanne Griffiths and I'm the Director for the National Adoption Service for Wales and for Foster Wales. Prior to taking up post with the National Adoption Service, I was a Director of Social Services in a Welsh local authority for a short while, and prior to that, a Head of Children's Services for a number of years. Since 1987, I've worked continuously within the social work profession in roles from social worker to Head of Service, including some years in the Welsh Government in the Inspectorate. My work passion has always been children's social services, and I've now spent 36 years working in and leading services that improve how we support our most vulnerable citizens. Adoption has always been a part of my work, and it's obviously grown in significance in the last years due to my role with NAS. The National Adoption Service for Wales, or NAS as it's known for short, was launched in November 2014 as an innovative and collaborative model for the delivery and improvement of adoption services. I believe we've done well in delivering on the improvement agenda, and more recently starting one that is beginning to modernise adoption in Wales. NAS brings together all Welsh local authority adoption services into a three-tier structure, which includes partnerships at all levels with our valuable voluntary adoption agencies that are based in Wales, as well as with health services, plus education and others. Adoption is changing and modernising. It's absolutely right that it does this. It needs to adapt so that it continues to be a positive contemporary option for certain children in our current social welfare system. There are still many children who, sadly, have no recourse to a safe and nurturing family environment within their birth family or birth community. While that continues to be the case, adoption will be needed as part of our range of family services, and it continues to provide the best opportunity of positive outcomes for those children who need it. Adoption services haven't had the best press in recent years. Some of the scandals and historical practices, not least of all the treatment of unmarried women reported last year by the Joint Committee on Human Rights, are indefensible. Alongside this, the sometimes vocal anti-adoption lobby and the inaccurate interpretation of certain legal judgments has made it seem like it should only ever be considered as a very last resort option. It is absolutely right that if there are options for children to be brought up in their birth families and communities, that should happen and be well supported by services. But the very negative portrayal of adoption alongside this is unfair and unhelpful when there are many potential positives to well-managed adoptions in terms of outcomes for children. There are also some myths to bust about what adoption actually means in the modern world. For example, adoption is no longer the complete severance of ties with birth families. And likewise, there is a greater recognition than ever that there are lifelong implications to adoption and that support and services need to be available whenever they're needed through the life cycle. Services across the UK are working hard to adopt and modernise their services. In Wales, we're implementing many changes to practice through a series of good practice guides and practice frameworks. So we're changing how we move and support children and families as they create that new adoptive family. We're changing how we keep in touch with them, and we're changing how we manage adoption support. We're also working with birth parents in a different way, and most significantly, working towards a more open style of adoption, where relationships and connections are seen as key to ensuring children develop a much better understanding of their identity to take them through their life. We're very pleased that Cascade has chosen to focus on adoption in this way. It provides a real opportunity to not only share the significant changes that are happening in adoption currently, but also give us a moment to celebrate all that adoption can mean for children and other family members in Wales and across the UK. The conference series Reframing Adoption will deliver a wide range of webinars, videos, blogs and online resources through the months of May and June 2023. The recordings and resources will then remain on the resources section of their website, www.exchange-wales.org. So do sign up for some of the events on offer or take a look over the coming weeks and months. So to give you a flavour of what's in store, we will hear from Professor Jim Clifford, OBE, Chief Executive of Sonnet Impact and Advisory at Sheffield Hallam University, presenting A Home for Me, where he will share with us the findings that support that for many children who need permanence, adoption offers the most secure base, and for local authorities where budgets are crucial to ensuring best value in terms of support, the least costly option to public services generally. He tells us that adoption is for the few and not the many, but that when it works, it provides the most secure permanent family base for children who cannot remain at home with their birth families. You will also hear about the work undertaken by Harriet Ward, Outcomes of Open Adoption, What Can We Learn from Australian Practice? This looks at how contact in adoption is mandated by the courts and forms part of the adoption plan for all children in Australia. Harriet is an Honorary Research Fellow at the Research Centre at Oxford University and Emeritus Professor of Child and Family Research at Loughborough University. She has over 30 years' experience as a research director, field researcher, an advisor, and a social work practitioner. Her presentation shares information on what regular face-to-face contact is like for adoptees, adoptive parents and birth parents, and how far it has affected their relationships as they continue their journey. Wendy Rose, OBE, and Professor Hedy Cleaver will also discuss two of their recent publications on safeguarding. The first, Safeguarding Children Living with Foster Carers, Adopters and Special Guardians, Learning from Case Reviews 2007 to 2019, as well as the companion guide, Reflective Practice, which is published by Coram Bath. Professor Beth Neal, Professor of Social Work and Director of Research and Chair of the Research Ethics Committee for the School of Social Work at the University of East Anglia, will present her theory of change. This summarises the challenges facing adoption service in relation to contact, whether that's letterbox contact, face-to-face contact, and services for adults affected by adoption. Professor Neal's seminar will present emerging ideas about what change is needed to better meet the needs of adopted people, both children being adopted today and adopted adults and birth relatives who were adopted in the past. As well as the above, there will be video presentations, including from Jenny Blackwell of Cardiff University, sharing her recent research on transitions after adoption, and Hannah Deakin-Smith from Nottingham Trent University discussing identity, family relationships and feelings of belonging within adoptive families through Name Stories, a project funded by the Leverhulme Trust. Various other blogs and videos will also feature, such as an analysis of current contact practices carried out in Wales through the National Adoption Service, one on adopting older children, and one on how England are developing their services. There is also a beautiful example of a great relationship between a birth mother and an adoptive mother. So that's just a flavour to whet the taste buds, as they say. Enjoy the series and do let Cascade know what you think. All views and feedback will be very much welcomed. Thank you.